Look, for years I've been tired and fatigued, which I put down to my busy lifestyle, but it turns out there was more to it, and there are two conditions which could be adversely affecting your life. Sonu Haikerwal is the doctor who has brought me so much relief, and she joins us now. Sonu, thank you for being on the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.
Thank you, Robert. It's my pleasure.
Now, look, you are my doctor, and we've been getting to the bottom of my tiredness issues. I've felt tired all the time. And for many years, I thought that was just a lot of hours, a lot of work, not enough sleep. But it turns out myself, like many other Australians, were fatigued for other reasons. And we've actually found two things going on with me. And the first is high iron. And I didn't realize having too much iron could be a bad thing, but it turns out it is, right?
Yes, and often, like you discovered in your case, it's a non-specific symptom. You could just be tired, and when we do a thorough test and assessment, check your iron levels, we realize that you have got too much iron in your body. And some people tend to store iron sort of correctly. So, and high iron load can give you tiredness. There's a disease called hemochromatosis. It can run in families, and you would have heard of people, having to let blood out to let go of some of that iron overload. And they feel so much better after doing that. So, we've heard of old stories of leeches being used to treat, diseases and letting
Wow.
letting blood out for treatment. I mean, that goes centuries.
Yes.
People are using that. So, look, in the modern world, it's so important to be thorough in our approach when we see a patient with a symptom as non-specific as tiredness. And yes, with everyone's lives very busy, we can always think, oh, it's this, it's work, but really the important concept is to assess and investigate thoroughly.
And it's such an interesting thing because having the high iron, part of the discovery process involved me getting blood tests. And we started realizing that when I gave blood tests, I'd feel great for a couple of days. I'd feel energetic and almost high. And so the result is now that I give blood every 2 months to bring those iron levels down. And I can't tell you how good it makes me feel.
Yes, look, and I think this is really such an important message to people out there that if you are suffering from symptoms of tiredness, fatigue, or even sometimes just low mood, and it's that becomes the chicken and egg story, doesn't it? So if you're tired,
Yeah.
you're not sleeping well, you get low in mood, and you never work out what's causing what. So, and I think again, when you let blood or you donate blood, you feel so much better, and that's been the experience of a lot of patients. For people who have got quite severe iron overload, they have to have more sessions of bloodletting. And if the other thing is, not only does it make you feel good, but if the iron overload is not corrected long term, it can cause problems to your body and multiple organs like your heart, your joints, your liver. So
Mm.
it is more important than just feeling good and feeling more energetic.
So phase one for me was giving blood, and that did make a huge difference. But you also took the path of getting my sleep patterns tested, and we discovered I have what they call interruptions each night.
Yeah, so it's what we call sleep apnea. So again, a very common um, symptom and very common diagnosis in our population, but often again very commonly missed. And sleep apnea is something where when you sleep, you have these interruptions of your sleep because your airways close. The tubes that get air into your lungs, they close up as you sleep. And when they close up, you stop breathing. So your brain wakes you up and your oxygen
Yeah.
levels go down. And then if that happens repeatedly over the night, then you wake up tired, unrefreshed,
Yep.
and your body is not getting the vital resource of oxygen. So it's like being smothered few 50, 60 times a night. And the key thing is that the symptom of it could just be tiredness. And again, like we just discussed, it could be um, the basis of that could be put on various other factors in your life. And once you've had these interruptions, it's like a vicious cycle. It just keeps getting worse. And you start to decrease your metabolism, you start to gain weight, you start to, feel tired, and you're not performing at your best. And it's got very many long-term problems with your health, including your heart and, your brain. So very relevant, but again, unfortunately, very easy to miss.
Now, what was interesting about that study is that I got told people usually have about 3 to 5 interruptions per night, and I had 35 interruptions per night, which means I was getting interrupted sleep all the time. Now, you and the sleep people have put me on what they call a Cpap machine, and I've got mine here. So it's a really interesting device, isn't it? Because what it does is it regulates your breathing, and you end up putting on a mask like this, which looks quite strange. But actually, I tell you what, I think for my wife, Amanda, if it comes down to wearing the mask or the snoring I was doing, she will take this mask any day of the week, because it has really changed my breathing habits. And when you put it on, you're just going in and out through your mouth, through your nose, and it has changed my life using this machine. And I can't tell you, people thought I was high on the show the other week because I had so much energy. I had so much energy that I hadn't had in such a long time. I was like giddy, like I was buzzing, and people were writing on Twitter, "Is Rob high?" So this is the impact this has had.
No, it's so fascinating, to hear your story, and I see that every day in my practice. We make not just our patients, but their family very happy. Your kids will notice the change in you, and it's just life-changing. But there's so many barriers, firstly to even diagnose the problem, then to go get the test, and then a lot of people are hesitant to use the mask, and they think, oh, I can't possibly tolerate that, or I won't get tested, I'll lose my license. So, there's so many myths and misconceptions. So it's really important to understand what sleep apnea is, to understand how it's treated. And like I say to my patients, you treat it, and then when you get so much better, then you sort out your lifestyle. You start to lose weight, you start to eat better, you start to exercise, your mood goes up, your relationships improve, and everything changes. And then, you drop 20 kilos, maybe the cause of the sleep apnea disappears. Your neck starts getting thinner, you start to lose weight, your metabolism kicks up, and maybe you get cured of the sleep apnea. So that's possible too. But to start, you have to be aware of it, you've got to diagnose it, treat it, and then see all the positives. So that's the usual path.
Well, when you said that I will lose weight in my sleep, you had me. So I can vouch, this has honestly been a life changer, and I'm just so thankful. And it's funny, I got you on the show because you are my doctor, and your enthusiasm for getting people healthy again is infectious, and you have already made a change to my life. And I think sleep is one of those issues that everybody has issues with. And I've been talking about this, and people say to me, oh yeah, I think I've got that, like the high iron or the sleeping issues. So it's well worth getting these things tested out, because it's such a small thing, and it's such a life changer. So Sonu, I'm here to say thank you.
I'm so glad. And the biggest, reward for us is to see you get better, and that fulfillment is priceless. So thank you for listening to me and following through with the test. So yeah, and thank you for hosting me and spreading this message, because I think there's so many people that can benefit.
Well,
and one of my you know, brand statement, so to speak. I mean, we don't think of ourselves as a brand or a company, you know, in medicine, but is be you again, you know, be the best health you can be. And there's a little full stop at the end of it, by which I mean that, you know, you'll get there, you know, you'll get off the roller coaster of just being a patient and in and out with scripts and more drugs and things. You can get to the best health. And so, yeah, that's my motto I live by, that you can be you again. That's what we stand for at HUN.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Thank you very much. And thank you for making such a difference. And in the true television idiom, I owe you a case of beer because I didn't put my phone on silent. And that was that noise, the McKnight Tonight theme you heard before. So I owe you a case of beer for having my phone not on mute. So thank you very much for being on the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.
Thanks very much, Robert. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.